Hi friends, welcome back to Calm in the Chaos Homeschool. So today is another reflections video. Today I'm going to be watching what I picked for my 6th and 7th grader, my girls this year. I'm going to be watching their curriculum picks video that I did towards the beginning of this last school year. And I'm going to be giving my final thoughts and just a brief review on the curriculum that we have used this year. If we liked it, if we continued with it, if we had to tweak it, or if we had to drop it for some reason. So I have not pre-watched this video recently. Of course, I'm gonna edit it a bit, so it's not gonna be double length video, but I'm gonna watch it a bit with you, and I'm just going to give my reactions and thoughts about the curriculums that I picked for my 2 girls this school year. If you, for some reason, want to watch that whole video, I will link it in the description box below, as well as any curriculum that I mention. I will put as many links as I can to them in the description box below so that you can easily do a little more research or check it out if you're interested. Okay, so let's get into the video. So today I'm going to be showing you my middle schoolers curriculum picks. This is their independent work. I have a 6th grader and a 7th grader this year. My 6th grader is doing some more advanced work, and my 7th grader struggles a little bit with some things, so her work's going to be a little bit different. So I just wanted to show you what my middle schoolers are doing this year. And I've already made the videos for my review or reflections on our homeschool year, on our family subjects, and on my 5th and 6th graders. So you'll want to check out my previous videos or check out the playlist that I will also link below showing all my reflections for this year. The last video I'm going to do is my term 3 morning basket. So if you're interested in that, you might want to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you're notified of when that video is up. So the first thing that I got this year, I got both of my girls this planner, the Ultimate Daily Planner for Students. It is put out by Apologia. It's just a general planner. It has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, so they can write their assignments down. So far, we have mostly used it for recording their volunteer hours. So pretty much that is what we used these planners for this year. I think once in a while my daughters would write something in it, but we really did not use it for school a lot. We recorded volunteer hours for about half of the year, and we did put passwords in there, so that was helpful when we got locked out of some of our online accounts. But we really did not put this to use as much as I would have liked, but I think that was my problem. I didn't really have a plan for how to use it. My daughter just asked for a planner, so I gave her one. In the upcoming school year, we will be using planners a lot more. I will be giving my daughters more of a week of work, and I'm going to help them learn how to kind of decide when to do what, and they're going to plot that on their planner every week based on the activities and things that are happening that week. So we should put a planner to more use next year. I just kind of picked it up because my middle daughter asked for a planner, so I just picked it up without a plan. So a bit of a waste, but that is what happened. So next, my 6th grader is doing teaching textbooks, Math 7 this year. I decided that this year I want her to write things down in the physical textbook before entering it into here. So teaching textbooks has worked fine for us this year. She did use her book to figure out the problems and then enter it into the tablet, and that worked totally fine. So I am switching up her math next year. She's been doing teaching textbooks since the beginning, so that is something that we've been using a long time. I guess that's 3 years. For us, that's a long time. But I want her to pick something that is more her style, so I wanted to give her some options for next year. So she has chosen what she's doing for pre-algebra, and we do hope that that will be able to continue throughout her high school years. Hopefully she'll like it and we won't have to jump around a lot. So teaching textbooks worked as expected this year for us. Supplementally, she is also using Math Mammoth a tiny bit. We are doing some geometry in there, but not a whole lot. We do 1 or 2 pages a day just to give the student a little extra to do. She's the one that has always finished everything really quickly, so I'm always looking for a few things to challenge her and just to add to her knowledge. So I didn't even remember that I was using Math Mammoth at the beginning of the year. I think that teaching textbooks, Math 7 definitely became more challenging for her. Maybe the first year where she's been not struggling, I would say has a more average amount of struggle when it comes to math. So I definitely dropped Math Mammoth after teaching textbooks was just starting to get a little more challenging for her. So I don't know how long we used it. This was about 6 weeks into our school year when I first recorded this. So it was maybe end of the first term, probably, when I dropped the Math Mammoth and just stuck with only teaching textbooks. Now, my 7th grader, she just started this here, The Good and the Beautiful Math 5, and it's been going well so far. She really enjoyed Math 4. We switched to that in the middle of last year, and it has been so much better. Math has been so much better. It is definitely not too easy for her, but I think she likes the color and the variety of activities, and in Math 4, there was a lot of review, which was really good. So it really solidified some of those basic facts that she was struggling with. So for Math 5, The Good and the Beautiful, it was working well for us until pretty recently. Recently, there's been a lot more frustration with math, and it's been going on a while. There is really no other math curriculum like The Good and the Beautiful, the way that it's set up, how beautiful it is, how the different activities are. I think the video explanations are really great, really real to life examples. We have enjoyed it for these 2 years, but we've gotten to the point where it's time for a change. So even just recently, we have been looking at what we're going to move into for the upcoming school year. I already purchased Good and the Beautiful Math 6, so I will do a flip through for you. I don't think it is the curriculum, it is just, we've been doing the same thing for 2 years, and we need something that's a little more simplified in preparing for pre-algebra. So the plan is to do 1 more year of laying the foundation that she needs before we go to pre-algebra. So I will be making a video about the maths that we considered, why we considered them, and then what she ended up choosing for the upcoming school year. So already some changes after my curriculum picks video last month, I think. So yeah, so stick around if you're interested in seeing what we considered and what she ended up picking. All right, so language arts. So my 7th grader, she is finishing up Explode the Code. She is on the last one, level 8. She does struggle a little bit more with phonics and spelling. So we are finishing that up, and once we are done that, we are going to be trying this out here. This is daily phonics, and it's a remedial level, so it's for 4 to 6 plus. So I would say it took about 2 terms, so that about 24 weeks to finish that Explode the Code 8 that we were working on. And then when it was time to start the Evan Moore Phonics book, I looked at it and I decided that it was just really too simple for her at that point. So that's a good thing. I'm going to save it for my son, who is currently doing like Explode the Code 5.5. And we'll see if once he gets to that point, or maybe we take a break from Explode the Code after doing it for 3, we're doing it next year too, so maybe after doing it for 4 years, it might be time to change to something else. So I'm just gonna keep it for now, but we never even touched it just because I felt like she didn't need that reinforcement at this point. So for spelling, this daughter has been working on Spelling You See, Americana. This is book 2 of level D, and we are lesson about 26. We went back and did level C last year after I'd started on D and it was too challenging. So we did C, and now we're back on D, and actually we're taking a break from D again. And we're going to try out the Phonetic Zoo by IEW. And so, honestly, day 1, my daughter said she hated this. So I'm not sure what it was listening to the CDs. She does have ADHD. I don't know if it was going too slowly for her. She's not an audio learner, so just having to listen and write things down. I think she's more of a visual learner. So we're going to keep trying this. I said she needed to try it out for a few months before we decide to scrap it and go back to Spelling You See. But anyways, that's what I picked for her spelling this year, and we started it, and so far, not great. But we've done it 1 week so far, so we'll just keep trying it. Okay, so we definitely did not last a few months. It was probably shortly after this video that we decided to scrap IEW's Phonetic Zoo. She was just really not liking it at all. So we went back to Spelling You See D, and I said that we were on lesson 26 there. We finished that this year. I would say we still had about 8 weeks left of school. And I wanted to get the next level and get it started, but my parent partnership said that I had to wait till the next school year because we already bought a spelling curriculum. So what I did was I purchased an Evan Moore spelling. I did a grade 4. I knew that there's still words that she needs to learn how to spell in that grade, but I also didn't want it to be overly challenging. So we are doing just a very traditional spelling right now. We haven't gotten very far, and we will be starting the spelling UC level E in the new school year, but we'll just work on this Evan Moore until we get our new spelling books. And so I can't really give a full review on the Evan Moore and how that's working for us. It's at this point, I think we've done like one lesson, so it's been fine. Yeah, we haven't had to scrap it, so there's that. But that's what we're doing for spelling and how spelling went for us this school year. I will say that spelling UC, I have liked spelling UC for her and my son who struggle with writing. It has worked. I have seen improvement in her spelling, but I just thought she might have gotten bored of writing every week, writing things out and shading and coding and things like that. So I thought I'd give her a break and try something new, but we might be going back to spelling UC. So that's where we're at with spelling. So my other daughter, who's in 6th grade, does not do spelling or phonics, but they are both doing easy grammar. So my 7th grader is working on this easy grammar grade 4. There are a lot of pages in here, and we started this last year, and I don't even know if we'll finish it this year. So for easy grammar grade 4 for that daughter, we are getting really close to the end of it. My next year's curriculum is EIW, and it covers writing and grammar, though I think they have grammar going first and then writing going after that. I'm going to swap that because the main reason I wanted to get EIW was for the writing, and I really do like our grammar. I like the easy grammar. I like fix-it grammar. I prefer to do those things. So what I might do is swap it around if I can. I'm gonna have to look at the curriculum and see if I can. I want to start with the writing portion and even take a little longer on that, not rush through the writing portion, and then maybe towards the end of the year, do however much grammar we cover before the end of the year. But while we're doing that writing, we can continue on with any grammar that my girls are doing. So that's the plan. So yes, we like easy grammar. I continue to like it. It is still a struggle. Most things are for her, but I can tell that she's been learning, and it's not because of easy grammar. So yes, easy grammar 4, we're continuing with it. I have no complaints with this grammar program at this point. Now my other daughter is also doing easy grammar. My 6th grader is doing easy grammar plus, which I think is for 7th grader and above. So it has more in here, a little more complicated, a lot of pages. It's pretty thick. Same thing, we started partially through the year. We will not finish it this year. Most likely we'll just keep working on it at a slow pace. So easy grammar plus, we are nowhere close to the end for that, which is totally fine. She's learning what she needs to learn. It's very thorough. I feel like once you've completed the book, you probably have covered most grammar topics. So I don't feel like we need to be going through every single topic every year. So I'm totally fine with the pace that we're going. And like I said, if we start with writing with IEW next year, we can continue on with our easy grammar and get a little further in this one. I don't think we're gonna finish it, most likely with the other grammar that comes with EIW, but yeah, we have no complaints on this easy grammar either. Both of my daughters are using IEW Structure and Style, Year 1 Level A. We are continuing. So we did the first 12 weeks last year, and we are continuing with week 13 through 24 this year. I just like to take it slow. We do one lesson every 2 weeks, and so we'll be done before the end of the year. I will say, especially for my 7th grader, her writing has improved a lot using this program. Even though I don't push her to complete all the things on the checklist, we are working our way slowly to adding more things, but just having her even be able to write 3 paragraphs has been great improvement, and giving her an idea on how to write. So this has been a really great program for my struggling writer. My 6th grader, I don't know, she is already a very creative and pretty good writer, so this isn't a challenge for her, but it's worked so far with teaching the 2 girls together for writing. So for IEW writing, I stick to everything I said there. It really did help my 7th grader be able to organize her thoughts and improve on her paragraph writing. My sixth grader really just could not handle the lessons. The lessons were too long for her. She wants things short and to the point because she doesn't need a lot of directed teaching. So that's why I chose EIW to try out in this upcoming school year. The lessons are much shorter, and I'm just hoping that these short lessons will satisfy my sixth grader who's going into seventh grade and still be able to teach my seventh grader going into eighth grade. Don't really want to do two different writing programs. And so for IEW, we got to probably finished lesson 19. So we didn't do, or 20, 19 or 20. We did not do the last lessons. It was just becoming too hard for me to drag my girls to do it. It is mostly the online lessons, but at that point, I think we hit a good stopping point, and I just decided that we were going to be done with the curriculum. So I really like the curriculum. I would like to use it again. I'm trying out the themed-based writing with my boys next year, so my upcoming 5th and 6th graders next year. Now that I've watched Mr. Pudua teach the girls, I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that in a way that will keep their attention. Even though the boys loved the videos as well, I still cannot imagine them sitting through those videos and doing the whole process. So we are going to take a very relaxed approach with that with my boys next year, and my girls are going to be trying something completely different. So my sixth grader, I was just trying to find some things to challenge her a bit. And so she has been working since last year on this word roots level 1, just a way to grow her vocabulary. She's actually very gifted in language and vocabulary, so that is her strength. So this is just adding on to that. It says grades 5 to 12. I would suggest that if you've never done root words before or word roots before, you do start with the beginner level. It looks a little babyish at the beginning, but it does lay a really good foundation before you start level 1. So we are still working on this. We will finish it. I'm not sure if it's going to be in our summer school or not for her to finish. So we did about 1.5 years of that. I think there's like 30 lessons, and we do it usually twice a week. So I'm not sure. I think there's a lot of review in there too. So maybe there's like 46 lessons if you include all the reviews, because there's a review every 2 lessons. So that's probably why we've been taking so long. We do about a lesson a week. So she's done fine with that. She doesn't complain about word roots. I find it a little monotonous and repetitive, so I decided next year we're going to stop doing that, but she hasn't really complained about it. I don't know how much she's learned from using it, so that's another thing. So I'm not sure. Next year, she's going to be starting some more high school credits and things like that, so I feel like she's gonna have a pretty full plate with her 3 high school credits, along with all the other stuff we're doing, so I'm not actively looking to find things to fill her time as much. Another thing that we just started, because we just got it from our parent and partnership program, is Wordly Wise, book 7. I actually thought I ordered book 6 for her because this is our first year using Wordly Wise. I have used this in the past as a teacher, and I know it is pretty challenging. It is probably above grade level, in my opinion. So I was thinking, I'll just get her book 6 and have it easier for her. But I ended up ordering book 7 somehow. So that's fine. Like I said, that is her strength. Vocabulary and words and language and things like that is her strength. So I don't think it'll be a challenge for her, but it's a little more challenging than I expected to get her. So I will say that book 7 has been a challenge for her. I would say the things that challenged her most this year was her math and this Wordly Wise. I will say she does not love it. She does not love doing it. However, I think it's a really good way to learn vocabulary. I like the activities, I like the variety, I like the way they make her think, and so much so that I'm getting my 2 other kids to start some Wordly Wise next year at a much lower level. I will say I don't want it to be crazy challenging, but this has definitely been one that challenged her, and I do wish I had gotten book 6 just so it wasn't quite over the top challenging. So I did get book 8 for her for the upcoming school year. I'm going to not try to finish it in a year. I'm just going to give her like 3 activities a week instead of maybe the 4 or 5 that you would need to do to complete it in a year. We're just going to take it a little slower, and I'm not going to expect her to do as much, but we're just going to get the new one and move through it at a slower pace and not worry about it if we're not finished by the end of the school year. Both of my girls are doing this Word of Life devotional that I bought a long time ago, maybe our first year of homeschooling. We did a little bit of it. So we are only about a third of the way through, and I thought we'd pick this up and start this again this year as my kids are doing daily devotions. So each day is just a page like this, and my girls just do that on their own, either in the afternoon or in the morning when we have our personal devotion time. So we continue to use that. I'm not sure if we're even 2/3 of the way through. They just do it on school days. And even next year, I'm going to offer them more variety on what they want to do for their personal devotions. The girls are going to be having a devotional book that they do once a week. It's called Starting Strong. And then they get to pick the other 4 days what they want to do. They can do this book, or they can read a scripture. I will have a list of scriptures for them to read. Probably, I think it's just going through Psalms. Read a chapter, pick a verse, copy the verse, and then maybe write a reflection or a prayer about the verse. So kind of the SOAP method, scripture, observation, application, and prayer, but just a more simplified version of that. And so those will be sort of their 2 options on those other days where they don't have that Starting Strong to do. So that's my plan for next year. This has been working fine, but we like to switch things up around here. So both of my girls are also doing the Big Life Journal. This is the original. Last year we did the Big Life Journal for kids and they really enjoyed it. So I decided to get this, the original one that is more for teens. And so far they are enjoying that. So we are finished that. They did enjoy it this year. I'm not getting anything like that next year. My boys will be starting the Big Life Journal for kids next year. So we're doing a second round with my boys now. So that was good. It's a mindset, talks about just attitudes and mindset and thinking about the future and planning the future and things like that. So it was really good. I don't think there's an obvious theme that follows that one. So we're just taking a break from that for now, but I do recommend it. My 7th grader is using this year for art. It's Artistic Pursuits. It's the elementary level, 4-5, book 1, Elements of Art and Composition. My 6th grader used this last year, and then my 7th grader was interested in doing it, so we just kept it, and so she is going through this now. My 6th grader is also very gifted in art, and she's very artistic, so if my 7th grader has any questions in here or isn't sure what to do, she just asks my 6th grader, and my 6th grader can help her. So that worked well this year. I think my 7th grader really enjoyed doing that art. I saw some of her art pieces. She did do this quite independently. When she had questions, she just asked her sister, who had just finished it the year before. That worked fine. Very no hassle art program for me and for her to have. So I think she really enjoyed it. When I asked her if she wanted to do another art next year, she said no, which is totally fine. She has plenty to do. But then later she decided that she did want to do whatever my 6th grader did this year. So we'll see. I think we're going to get started with the new year and let her see kind of what her workload is before she decides that she wants to add a art to that. But she can do that another year, and then it can start towards a high school credit in the future if that's what she chooses. Now, I haven't gotten this yet, waiting on my parent partnership program to get this to me, but I ordered Artistic Pursuits Middle School Book 2. I didn't want to get book 1 because I felt like that was too much of the same elements of art and stuff. So book 2 is going to be more colors, more pastels and things like that for my 6th grader. So she's going to start that as soon as we get that from our parent partnership program. So she really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed seeing the pieces that she created with pastels. It was definitely a different medium for her. Really enjoyed this course. So I do recommend Artistic Pursuits. It's been such a nice art course that my kids can do relatively independently. I guess depends on your child. So because we have loved this course so much, she is picking up their new middle school book 2, which is acrylics, because she has not focused on acrylics yet. So she'll be doing another year of Artistic Pursuits. And like I said, in our house, if you do something 2 or 3 years, that's pretty unusual. We like a lot of variety around here. So it is definitely a winner. We really enjoy the Artistic Pursuits curriculum for art. Now, my 6th grader is doing a few more things. Like I said, she is one that can finish things really quickly. She also has a lot of interests. And so I kind of schedule into her week maybe one period of, it's a personal project time. So it's a time for her to study something she's interested in, but a dedicated time, like 30 minutes to study something she wants to study. So she decided to use this. I got this from Usborne Hall recently, Coder Academy. So she's going through that and just reading and learning about coding. So she already knows a lot about coding. She uses Scratch. She's on Scratch all the time. She creates games and a whole bunch of animations and things like that. So this is just to deepen her understanding of coding. So she's using that in that time. And she's also using this Usborne Computers and Coding Lift a Flap. We did the personal project probably the first term. After that, I felt like we were done with the coding and we had enough other things. I didn't need to fill her time slot with personal project time. So those were good books. I have a video all about all the coding books that she used. I'll try to remember to link that in the description box below. So we did that. She also did a coding class, which I did not know about at the beginning of the year. Robotics Workshop for Kids reached out and asked if we would be interested in her taking an actual coding course, a robotics course. So she did, and she really enjoyed that. I also have videos about that. I'll link those below as well. I was considering doing another class with the same teacher in the fall because we just can't afford to buy courses all the time. Her focus in science next year is going to be robotics and technology and things like that. So another coding class with the Nud from Robotics for Kids would be a very good fit. So I think we'll just wait till the fall and we'll just get going with our school before we start adding things like that. But that ended up kind of a focal point for this year and is going to continue on with our science for next year. So a few of the things that I almost forgot to include in this video is both of my girls are doing handwriting. My oldest is doing level 4 and I believe my 6th grader is doing level 5 right now. So the Good and the Beautiful, handwriting, we've been doing those for all 3 years of homeschooling and we will continue in our 4th year of homeschooling. Not a lot of curriculum lasts that long around here, so that's saying something. They really enjoy the handwriting from the Good and the Beautiful. Also, there's some online things I didn't mention. My oldest is doing Time for Math Facts. She's working on that. This should be her last year on that, so she's just getting those math facts more solid. So we really love Time for Math Facts. If your kid does not get easily frustrated with video games, it is a fun way to learn math. I still recommend it. So if you've watched any of my other videos, you will know that our last term of homeschool, we have pretty much cut out anything that's online due to people clicking on things they shouldn't and viruses on our computer. So with the exception of my 6th grade daughter who just can use the computer more responsibly, all my other kids have been off of all of the programs. So anything I mention here that is online, we basically stopped for this last term, not because of the programs themselves, but because of just electronics. So let's just see what I had here. My oldest is also working on typing.com and we'll work on that for a while. And if that gets frustrating or it stops working for some reason, we do have typingclub.com to work on after that. So in my last video, I talked about typing.com and typingclub.com. I still love them. I really do want my kids to learn how to type. So I am definitely considering buying the subscription so that there's no ads. I'm not sure exactly when we're going to start that again. I do want to start it, but I would be paying for a subscription so that we could have ad-free typing. I think that would help in our situation. Both of my girls are also doing Miacademy this year, and if you're interested in learning more about Miacademy, I will link that here. I have a full review of Miacademy, but the girls are both using that this year supplementally. So they use it once or twice a week for about 30 minutes each time. So not a lot, but just something extra that we've added. So we also stopped Miacademy during that time. It just wasn't worth it for us to be online. And honestly, we had a lot of other things to do, so that wasn't a big deal for us. Finally, both of my girls are using code.org. So that is a coding computer program that we just started using this year. All my kids are using it, and it just goes through different lessons and teaches kids how to code as well as some computer safety things. So they are working on that probably once or twice a week as well. No complaints about code.org. It was something additional that I don't think is super necessary. It was just something fun to throw in to their rotation. So we're just not doing it now because of the online thing. And last thing, my 6th grader is working on, she is working on this program. It's the Simple Startup, a beginner's guide to starting a business. This is the workbook. So she's working through this workbook at her own pace. There are videos for her to watch. It just takes her through the steps of starting a business. So as far as the Simple Startup, she enjoyed the videos and she definitely watched through all the videos, and she did start her Etsy shop. We're not working on it right now. I think we have interests that come and they go, but it was a good learning experience. The workbook was a little bit rough for her to get into, I think, just being a middle schooler. So I would say that probably the workbook would be more appropriate for high school level, but she did watch all the videos and she did enjoy the course. I will link in the description box below a link to the course and the book if you're interested in checking it out. Basically talking about businesses, how to start them, what you need to consider, the cost and what cost, profit, those sort of analysis and things like that. Pretty technical, a good practical business course. And they also have a community, and there's a like summer challenge or something. So if you want to sign your kids up for a summer challenge, they will be going together with a group of students, kind of working through each of their businesses and developing their business plans and things like that. So interesting course. Just the textbook was a little bit, I think, a little dry for her. I don't know if it is dry, but she just ended up doing the videos basically, and it was an elective for her and just something more self and interest directed, so I wasn't really super checking up and making sure she was doing all that. So that is what I did with my 6th and 7th grade girls last year. I guess I'm like, what are the hits and misses for this year? Just thinking back, I guess artistic pursuits we really enjoyed. Easy grammar is good. I guess our teaching textbooks was fine, but we're changing both of our math programs, so a little struggle there. I guess our miss was IEW's Phonetic Zoo. I hate saying things like that. I love that company, but it just did not work for my daughter. Lots of people really enjoy that curriculum. Just was not a good fit for her. It's sometimes very hard to find good fits for her. Let's see, what else? I guess Wordly Wise is meh for my daughter, but I want to continue doing it. Word Roots also okay, in my opinion. Lots of people really love it, and it was fine for the time that we were doing it. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. We did not use our planners, and spelling you see, we're still sticking with that in the future. So I think that covers most of the things and kind of our feelings, my reflections on those things and how they went for us. I hope that's helpful in your choosing of your curriculum next year. If you like videos like this, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next video. Goodbye, everyone. Talking about you. Did you read about coding? I think you did. At the beginning of the year, you were looking at coding books. This is beginning. So what I'm doing is I'm watching the beginning of the year plan, like what I was planning on doing. Mm-hmm. And then I'm talking about how that plan went. And then so I'm gonna have a little picture of me right here talking. Mm-hmm. And then I pause it and then I'll talk about what I said and say, yeah, that worked, or no, that didn't work. And do you wanna be in my video as a blooper? Yeah. I love bloopers. I'll put you at the end.